Darkness has weight. That's something most people never learn. But when you're 40 feet underground in a tunnel barely wide enough for your shoulders, with millions of tons of earth pressing down above you, and the only light coming from a flashlight you're holding in your teeth, you learn. Darkness isn't empty space. It's a physical thing that crushes you, suffocates you, buries you alive even before you're dead. I was a tunnel rat. That's what they called us. The guys who crawled into the enemy's underground world and fought them in the dark. The guys who volunteered to die in holes. My name's Danny Nguyen. Yeah, Vietnamese name, American kid. My parents came to California in 1954 after the French pulled out. I was born in San Jose in '49, grew up speaking English, playing baseball, eating hamburgers, as American as anyone else. Then I got drafted and sent to fight in the country my parents fled from. The irony wasn't lost on me. I'm 5'3", 120 pounds, too small for most jobs in the Army, but perfect for tunnel rat. That's what they wanted. Small guys who could fit in tight spaces. Guys who didn't mind being buried alive. Guys who were crazy enough to crawl into the dark with nothing but a pistol and a flashlight. I arrived in Vietnam in February '69, assigned to the 25th Infantry Division near Cu Chi. That's when I learned about the tunnels. The VC and NVA had been building them for years, hundreds of miles of underground passages, entire cities beneath the jungle. Command posts, hospitals, supply depots, living quarters, all underground where our bombs and artillery couldn't reach them. Someone had to go down there, had to clear them, had to fight the enemy in the dark. They asked for volunteers. Everyone laughed. Who'd be crazy enough to volunteer to crawl into a hole where the enemy was waiting? I raised my hand. Not because I was brave, because I was angry. Angry at being drafted. Angry at being sent to Vietnam. Angry at my parents for leaving this place and then me ending up right back here. Angry at everything. Figured if I was going to die, I might as well do it on my own terms. In the dark. Alone. Where nobody could see me scared. They gave me 3 days of training. How to search a tunnel. How to navigate underground. How to fight in confined spaces. How to breathe when the air was thick with cordite and blood and fear. Then they handed me a .45 pistol, a flashlight, and a knife. That was it. No rifle. Too long for the tunnels. No grenades. Too dangerous in confined spaces. Might collapse the tunnel on yourself. Just a pistol, a flashlight, and the knowledge that you were crawling into hell. I was 19 years old. I went down into my first tunnel on February 23, 1969. I came back up a different person. The entrance was hidden in the floor of a bunker we'd just cleared. A small opening, maybe 2 feet across, covered with a wooden trap door. You'd never see it if you weren't looking. Sergeant Walsh knelt beside it. He was tunnel rat supervisor, been doing this for 6 months. That was ancient for tunnel rats. Most didn't last a month. All right, Nguyen, you're up. Standard search. Map the tunnel, check for supplies, look for documents. If you encounter enemy, you know what to do. Kill them or die trying. That was what you did. I looked at the hole. Couldn't see the bottom. Just darkness, complete, absolute darkness that seemed to have its own gravity pulling you down. Any advice? I asked. Walsh looked at me. His eyes were dead, flat, like he'd seen too much in those tunnels and something essential had burned out. Don't die, he said. I clipped the flashlight to my web gear, checked my .45, 7 rounds in the magazine, 1 in the chamber. 8 shots. That's all you got. After that, you fought with your knife or your hands, or you died. I lowered myself into the hole, feet first, feeling for the floor. Found it about 6 feet down. The tunnel extended horizontally from there, heading north. Maybe 3 feet wide, 3 feet high. I'd have to crawl. I took a breath of fresh air. Last one for a while. Then I started crawling into the dark. The tunnel was tight. My shoulders scraped the sides. The ceiling pressed down on my back. The air was hot, stale, thick with humidity. Hard to breathe, like drowning in slow motion. I held the flashlight in my left hand, pistol in my right, crawling forward on my elbows and knees. The beam of light showed only a few feet ahead, packed earth walls, wooden supports, roots hanging from the ceiling. Nothing else, just tunnel extending forward into darkness. 20 feet in, I found the first trap, a false floor panel. I tested it with my knife, felt it give, pulled it aside and saw the pit beneath. Punji stakes, sharpened bamboo pointing up. Fall through that and you'd impale yourself. Die screaming in the dark while the enemy listened. I marked it with a piece of string, kept going. 50 feet in, the tunnel branched, left or right. No way to know which way to go. No maps, no intelligence. Just pick one and hope. I went right. The tunnel angled down, getting deeper. The air got worse, less oxygen, more carbon dioxide, hard to think clearly. The walls seemed to be closing in, or maybe they were. Maybe the tunnel was collapsing. Maybe I'd be buried alive down here and nobody would ever find me. The panic started rising, tight spaces, no air, no way out except back, and something ahead in the dark, something waiting. I kept crawling, because going back meant I'd quit, meant I'd failed on my first mission, meant I was too scared, and I was already too many things I didn't want to be. I couldn't be scared too. The tunnel opened into a chamber. Small room, maybe 8 feet across, carved out of the earth. There was a mat on the floor, a canteen, rice bowls. Someone had been living here. Recently. I swept the flashlight around. 2 more tunnels leading out. One straight ahead, one to the left, and in the corner. A body. VC soldier. Dead. Looked like he'd been dead for days. The smell hit me even through the stale air. Decomposition in the heat and humidity. The flashlight showed details I didn't want to see. Details I can't forget. I checked the other tunnels. Empty. Whoever had been living here was gone. Fled when they heard us above ground, probably. I searched the chamber, found documents, maps, orders, names. Intelligence would want these. Found rice, ammunition, medical supplies, standard cash. Then I found the side chamber, hidden behind a false wall. Had to move the mat to see the entrance. Another tunnel, even smaller. Had to crawl on my belly to get through. It opened into a room, and that's where I found them. 3 American soldiers, dead, bound and executed, shot in the back of the head, left to rot in this underground tomb where nobody would ever find them. They still had their dog tags. Specialist James Morrison, Kansas. Private First Class Robert Chen, California. Private Michael O'Donnell, New York. All 25th Infantry. All captured sometime in the last month. All murdered down here in the dark. I stared at them in the flashlight beam. Boys my age. Could have been guys from my unit. Could have been me. This is what happened if they caught you. This is what waited if you surrendered, if you got captured, if you couldn't fight back. Execution in a tunnel. Death in the dark. Body left to rot where your family would never find it. I was taking pictures, evidence for intelligence, when I heard it. A sound behind me. In the tunnel I'd come through. Someone was coming. I killed the flashlight. Complete darkness. Couldn't see my hand in front of my face. But I could hear. Someone crawling through the tunnel, getting closer. My heart was hammering so hard I thought they'd hear it. I gripped the .45, aimed at where the sound was coming from, finger on the trigger. The sound stopped. They were in the chamber. I could hear breathing, slow, controlled breathing. They knew someone was here, knew I was in the side chamber. I couldn't see them. They couldn't see me. Both of us in the dark, waiting, listening, trying to figure out who would move first. Then they turned on a flashlight. The beam swept across the chamber, searching. I pressed myself against the wall. Stayed in the shadows of the side chamber. The beam passed over the entrance to my hiding spot. Kept going. Came back. Found me. I fired first. 3 shots. The muzzle flash lit up the chamber for a fraction of a second. Showed me a VC soldier, young guy, caught in the flashlight beam. Surprised. Then the darkness came back. I heard him fall. Heard the flashlight clatter on the ground. Heard gurgling breathing. I waited. 30 seconds. A minute. The breathing stopped. I turned on my flashlight. The VC soldier was dead. 3 shots, 2 hits. 1 in the chest, 1 in the throat. He'd bled out in maybe 20 seconds. He looked 19. Maybe 20. Same age as me. Same age as the American soldiers in the side chamber. Just another kid fighting in tunnels. Just another body left in the dark. I grabbed the documents, marked the position of the American bodies, and crawled back out. Took me 20 minutes to navigate back to the entrance. Felt like hours. When I came up, Walsh was waiting. Find anything? Documents, supply cache. 3 American KIA. 1 enemy KIA. He nodded. Good work. Get some rest. You're going down again tomorrow. Tomorrow. And the day after. And the day after that. Into the dark. Every time. I went down 43 times in 6 months. 43 descents into hell, each one worse than the last. You learn things in the tunnels. You learn that humans can live like moles, entire communities underground. You learn that darkness isn't empty. It's full of dangers you can't see. You learn that fighting in confined spaces is primitive, brutal, personal. You learn what real fear feels like. The second tunnel complex I cleared had 3 levels, 60 feet down at the deepest point. The air was so bad at that depth I could barely think. Hypoxia, carbon dioxide poisoning. Your brain stops working right. You make mistakes. I found a hospital down there. Operating room carved out of earth, surgical instruments on a wooden table, bloodstains on the floor. They were doing surgery down there, saving lives in the dark while we bombed the jungle above them. Found a classroom. Chalkboard on the wall, children's drawings, tiny desks. They were teaching kids down there, raising a generation underground. Found a weapons factory, assembly line for making booby traps, for repairing rifles, for building the tools they used to kill us. An entire society, underground, hidden, invisible, and I was supposed to destroy it, clear it out, kill anyone I found, collapse the tunnels so they couldn't be used again. The killing got easier. That was the worst part. The first one was hard, the VC soldier in the chamber, the gurgling as he died. After that, it got mechanical. See target, shoot target, move on. Stopped thinking of them as people. They were just obstacles, threats, things that needed to be eliminated so I could complete the mission and get back to the surface. Stopped thinking of myself as a person too. Just became the tunnel rat, the thing that crawled into the dark and killed whatever it found there. I got good at it. Too good. They started sending me on the worst missions, the deepest tunnels, the most dangerous complexes, because I'd come back when others didn't. Lost 3 tunnel rats in my unit in those 6 months. Jackson from Ohio got lost in a complex, couldn't find his way out. Died of asphyxiation in the dark. We found his body 2 weeks later when we went back in. Martinez from Texas walked into a booby trap. Grenade rigged to a tripwire. The tunnel collapsed on him. We dug for 3 days, never found all of him. Williams from Georgia encountered enemy in a tunnel, ran out of ammunition. They found him with his knife in his hand, dead VC soldier next to him. Both had bled out fighting in the dark. 3 tunnel rats, dead in holes, like I should have been, like I was supposed to be. But I kept coming back up, kept surviving when I shouldn't have. And each time I came back, a little more of me stayed down there in the dark. By June, I'd cleared 15 major tunnel complexes, killed maybe 20 enemy soldiers, found intelligence, weapons, supplies, done my job. But I'd stopped sleeping. Couldn't close my eyes without feeling the weight of earth pressing down, without hearing the breathing in the dark, without seeing the faces of the people I'd killed in those tunnels. Dead faces in the flashlight beam, surprised, afraid, young, just like me. July 12th, 1969. My 43rd mission. Biggest tunnel complex we'd found. Command center for the entire district. Intelligence said it was critical. Said we had to clear it, get the documents, capture or kill whoever was inside. They sent me down with Williams. 2 tunnel rats. Safety in numbers, they said. Someone to watch your back. Williams was new, 3 weeks in country, 2nd mission. He was scared. I could see it in his eyes, the same fear I'd had on my first descent. Stay behind me, I told him. Watch where I step. Don't shoot unless I shoot first. And whatever happens, don't panic. He nodded, too scared to speak. We went down. The tunnel was large by tunnel standards, 4 feet high, 4 feet wide, almost luxurious. We could crouch instead of crawling, move faster. But that also meant the enemy could move faster. We found the command center 30 minutes in. Large chamber, oil lamps, maps on the walls, radio equipment, and people. Lots of people. We surprised them. Came in through a side tunnel they weren't watching. They went for their weapons. We opened fire. The gunfight lasted maybe 10 seconds. Felt like forever. Muzzle flashes lighting up the chamber in strobes, the sound deafening in the confined space, cordite smoke filling the air until you couldn't breathe. When it was over, 5 enemy dead. Williams and I were untouched. Somehow. I was checking the bodies, looking for documents, when I heard Williams scream. Turned around. He'd found another chamber, side room off the main complex. He was standing in the entrance, flashlight shaking in his hand, screaming. I ran over, looked inside. Children, maybe 20 of them, huddled in the corner, terrified, staring at us with huge eyes, some of them crying, all of them waiting to die. They'd been hiding there during the gunfight, hiding from us. We'd just killed their fathers, their brothers, their teachers, and now they were staring at the American soldiers with guns, waiting for what came next. Williams was still screaming, breaking down. They're kids. They're just kids. What do we do? What do we do? I looked at them, looked at the children, Vietnamese children in an underground complex. Could be civilians, could be future VC, could be anything. We leave them, I said. Mark the position. Let command decide. We can't just leave them. We're not killing children. We leave them. We backed out, gathered the documents, made our way back to the entrance. I could hear the children crying behind us, scared, alone in the dark. We reported what we found. Command sent in a detail to evacuate the children. I don't know what happened to them after that. Don't want to know. Williams requested transfer the next day. Got out of tunnel rats. Smart move. I should have requested transfer too. Should have quit while I still had some piece of humanity left. But I didn't. Kept going down. Kept crawling into the dark. Because I didn't know how to be anything else anymore. I finished my tour in February 70. 13 months in country. 6 months as a tunnel rat. 43 missions into the tunnels. I came home to San Jose. My parents threw a party. Welcome home. Their son the veteran. The hero. I sat there while they celebrated and felt nothing. Just empty. Like I'd left everything important down in those tunnels and come back hollow. Couldn't tell them what I'd done. Couldn't explain crawling through the dark, killing people in underground chambers, finding bodies and children and horrors they couldn't imagine. My father kept asking what it was like. He'd fled Vietnam, wanted to know what had happened to the country he'd left behind. I couldn't tell him, couldn't say I'd been killing his countrymen in tunnels, that I'd been destroying the same kind of underground hideouts his family had probably used to survive the French War. So I said it was fine, said I did my job, said I was glad to be home. But I wasn't home, couldn't be home, because home was above ground, in the light, in the open air, and I didn't belong there anymore. I belonged in the dark. I can't be in enclosed spaces, elevators, small rooms, closets. They trigger something. The walls close in. The air gets thin. I'm back in the tunnels, 40 feet down, millions of tons of earth pressing down on me. I sleep with the lights on, every night. Have to. Can't handle darkness anymore. Darkness isn't empty space. It's full of threats I can't see, full of breathing and movement and people waiting to kill me. My parents don't understand. You're safe now. You're home. The war is over. But the war isn't over. I'm still in those tunnels, still crawling through the dark, still listening for breathing that doesn't belong, still expecting someone to shoot me from the shadows. I got a job working outdoors, construction, anything that keeps me in the light, in the open where I can see in every direction. Can't work inside, can't handle being enclosed. My coworkers think I'm strange. I probably am. The Vietnamese kid who went to Vietnam and came back broken. They don't say it to my face. Don't have to. I tried therapy at the VA. The doctor wanted to talk about my experiences, wanted me to describe what I'd seen in the tunnels. I couldn't put it into words. How do you describe killing someone in a space so small you can smell their last breath? How do you explain what it's like to crawl over dead bodies in the dark? How do you talk about finding children hiding underground, terrified, waiting to die? You don't. You just carry it. Add it to the weight that's already there. The nightmares are constant. I'm in a tunnel, can't move forward, can't move back. The walls are closing in. The air is running out. Someone is behind me in the dark. I can hear them breathing, getting closer. I wake up screaming, every night, sometimes multiple times. My parents hear me through the walls. They don't ask anymore. It's been 5 years since I came home. 5 years and I'm still 24 years old, living with my parents, working construction, sleeping with the lights on, waiting for something I can't name. The other tunnel rats, the ones who survived, we don't keep in touch. What would we say? Remember that time we killed people in the dark? Remember when we crawled through hell and somehow came back? Better to forget. Better to pretend it never happened. Better to be alone with our memories than to share them and make them real again. Walsh killed himself in 1972, drove his car into a wall at 90 miles an hour. No skid marks. Deliberate. The tunnel rat supervisor who'd lasted 6 months underground. He made it 3 years above ground before he couldn't take it anymore. Martinez's brother wrote me a letter. Wanted to know what happened to his brother, how he died, whether he suffered. I wrote back. Told him Martinez died quickly, didn't feel anything. The tunnel collapsed and it was over. All lies. Martinez died slowly, crushed under tons of earth. Probably took hours, probably screamed for help that never came. Probably died terrified and alone in the dark. But I couldn't tell his brother that. Some truths are too heavy to share. I'm 29 years old now, should be starting a career, getting married, building a life. Instead, I'm working construction jobs, living with my parents, sleeping with the lights on like a child afraid of the dark. Except I'm not afraid of the dark. I know what's in the dark. I've been there. I've killed there. I've seen things in the dark that people above ground can't imagine. And I know that darkness never lets you go. It stays inside you, becomes part of you. changes who you are at the most fundamental level. I was a tunnel rat. That's what they called us. The guys who crawled into the dark and fought the enemy underground. But the truth is simpler. We crawled into the dark and never came back. Our bodies came back. But whatever was essential, whatever made us human, that stayed down there. In the tunnels, in the dark, forever. I went down 43 times, came back 43 times, beat the odds, survived when I shouldn't have. But I'm still down there, still crawling through tight spaces, still listening for breathing in the dark, still waiting for someone to shoot me from the shadows, still buried alive. The war ended in '75. America pulled out. Vietnam won. The tunnels we cleared, the complexes we destroyed, the people we killed, none of it mattered. We lost anyway. And I'm still here, still carrying the weight of those 43 descents, still feeling the earth pressing down, still seeing the faces in the flashlight beam, still in the dark, always in the dark, because once you go down into the tunnels, once you fight and kill in that underground world, once you learn what darkness really is, you can never come back to the light. Not really, not ever. I'm a tunnel rat. Was a tunnel rat. Whatever. The distinction doesn't matter, because tunnel rats don't retire, don't quit, don't get to leave. We just keep crawling through the dark, above ground or below, until we die. And even then, I suspect the dark doesn't let us go. It never does.